Oh, I forget.
That is. Looks like we are live.
We're ready to go.
That's fun. Happy Financial Freedom Friday, everybody. I am super excited. This is a mental health seminar series. I am your host, Xavian Tate. A little bit about me. My background is I am a senior studying mental health psychology. I am a life coach. I am a small business owner, and I'm also a fellow financial professional as well. Um, on this amazing live with me, I have my business partner, Mr. Devin Mikell. Devin is originally from Chicago, Illinois. He now lives in Nashville, Tennessee. And I just call this man a whole jack of all trades: criminal justice, entrepreneurship, finance, security, every, everything. So I am super excited that he is here to talk with me and you all today. So let us get started. So Devin, how are you today?
Man, I am just excited to be here. I'm glad to be having this conversation with you. Excited, pumped up, super excited to be here on a Financial Freedom Friday like we are used to do. So, we got a lot that we're going to talk about today. We're going to try to condense it and not make this so long because we don't want to be long-winded about anything. But we definitely want to bring something that's going to help you all to see how you can overcome financial anxiety. Because with what Xavian has shown me and a lot of things that we've talked about when it comes to mental health, there are a lot of things that affect our mental health, and finances is one of them. I know one of the main portions that I always bring up is that, when it comes to people, to relationships, to anything, that finances always ends up being a trigger. And we don't want it to be a trigger for a lot of people. We want to bring that down. So that's why we want to have conversations like these to help people and make sure that they're going to be able to control their stability and make sure that they're going to be able to help themselves as it comes to finances and financial anxiety. So I'm going to let you start it off, sir, because you have a lot of the knowledge right now. But I do have one question before we do get started, and that is, when it comes to people and financial anxiety, what are some of the things that we see so often that happen when they are financially anxious or when they have financial issues?
All right, that's actually a great question. So financial anxiety, just to give you what exactly it is the constant worrying about your finances. So anytime you or somebody is talking about how they're going to pay rent, how they're going to provide for their family, that's financial anxiety. They're constantly worrying about where they're going to get the money from in order to provide for their family. And then financial anxiety, we see restlessness. We use a biopsychosocial model of how it all flows together. And from the biological expert, we have you're not sleeping, so your restlessness, your heart rate is going up. Sometimes you have headaches. Sometimes you can't eat. From the psychological perspective, you have stress, and sometimes it comes from hereditary. From society, from the sociological perspective, you have it comes from parents. Like you got, I personally call it a generational curse. So these are some of the factors. There's more, but these are some of the factors that we see in financial anxiety.
And that's probably huge because I know back before I started and actually getting myself together before I was a financial professional, I know there were times when I would starve myself. I would be like, I'm not eating, or I would have a major headache and have some, really bad health reactions to not being able to pay a bill on time, or not being able to, put my car note up on time, or anything like that. So I know that those are issues that do arise for people. So that's very helpful. Now, I know that these are going to be things that we talk about. What are some of the ways that they can help cope with it? But I definitely want to get into some of the things that also you see on your end of it when it comes to mental health, and things that are moving forward and progressing with people as they go throughout that financial anxiety cycle.
Yeah. So on the mental health side, I'm gonna take myself for example, because I have actually suffered. I would say 2017. I was working like 5 jobs because I didn't know how I was gonna get money to like pay for my tuition. My, and my family was doing the best they can, but they didn't have the money to like pay off such a big bill. So it caused a lot of stress and anxiety on me. They actually had it actually stopped me from going to school, and it did that because I was working more than I was studying, so my grades had literally dropped. So it had caused a low GPA on that end, and then I got kicked out for the semester. So like that stress and the anxiety basically overwhelmed me so much. Like I almost gave up like going to school. So that's a huge factor. And then other people, I'm also a first generation student. So like I be talking to my fellow peers who are first generation students, and also international students, and they be experiencing like almost the same thing. Especially, it happens to everyone, but most importantly, it really happens to us people of color.
Yeah, and I think that is really, really a big thing that we are seeing a lot, especially when it comes to our students of color, our people of color. But even, when it comes to young adults, that adulting phase and getting used to actually doing things like paying bills, or doing things that result in having for them to think about getting to the next steps in their life, when it comes to investing and retirement, even because some people think about retirement from a very young age. So these are all things that they start to think about that cause them a lot of stress. And even as they go forward, even when they get into relationships and marriage, that is a huge thing. I know I saw a study in one of the public health journals that it's the number 3 cause of issues between couples. 50% of couples agree that money is a big factor when it comes to if they're going to stay together or not. The only 2 above that are infidelity and arguments or conflict. So, that's definitely something that that a lot of people look forward to, is having that stability in their financial health. So what do you see when it comes to relationships, even? Because that's a very, very powerful topic when it comes to money and relationships that can help a lot.
In relationships, it is a huge benefactor. In relationships, that's a besides, like you had said, besides infidelity and the other one, finance. When you can't provide for your family, that's ultimate stress, especially when it actually causes divorce. And I am a product of I am a product of a divorce family. So like having going from a 2 income household to a 1 income household, it's a lot of stress. And I'm taking my experience. I'm putting myself on the market. Um, I was born. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, but we moved around. We moved around a lot. We moved from to Philadelphia, Talladega, Oxford, Anderson. Now we back here in Alabama. So when people ask me like, where am I from? I have to tell them you have to be specific because I moved around a lot. And then now just thinking about it, it's it gets frustrating, it gets annoying because like you make I remember my friend told me that he moved around so much. Uh, he had he told me I can tell the story. but he had moved around so much. He had got evicted, and also, and he lived in his car. And also, during his high school year, he chose not to join anything because immediately when he joined something, he moved around. So it definitely causes stress not only on the parents, but most importantly, the children as well.
Definitely, because then they don't know what a really good functioning household system is like. So I can agree with you on that. I can agree with you on that. And I can even say for myself, you know, I wasn't taught a lot of the things that we probably should have been taught when it comes to money. And that's only because, you know, money is such a taboo subject especially when it's talked about between parents and children. You know, kids are supposed to stay in the kids' place. That's how we see it here in America. But, you know, when it comes to different cultures like those over in Asia and in the Middle East and in Africa as well, that money is a very, very powerful subject when it comes to teaching their kids what they need to be able to do. So, you know, those are definitely all things that we have to talk about and grow to start talking about a lot more when it comes to our family dynamic. It really has to be something that does not get ignored. And we have to change our outlook on that as well. So I know we've talked a little bit about mental health. We want to shift a little bit more now into talking about financial health and financial situations and how we can start to overcome these things. So I'm going to go ahead and shift gears and let you take over from here now and let you ask me a few questions and see what we can actually iron out for people.
Awesome. So now that we know about the mental health side, let us get into the financial side because I have to know. So the first question I do want to know is what exactly is financial literacy?
Okay, so that's a really good question. Financial literacy is knowing exactly how to navigate in 8 different areas of the financial world. So it's not just about knowing about money, but we're talking about knowing about different things. And there was a report from TIAA that I posted on my Instagram. So if anybody wants to look at that, please look at my Instagram. It's CFL Michael 2020. But there's a report that talks about how different generations are not literate in all 8 aspects of the financial index. And so when we talk about that, we're talking about things like borrowing and lending or knowing about loans, or even when it comes to different things like insurance and knowing how to insure yourself, or even when it comes to different issues like investing and how to properly invest, or knowing what different types of investments that are out there. And there are definitely many, many more. Again, that's just 3 of the 8. But for sure, we know that those are things that people have to be aware of. And the top one that each and every generation knows of, that they scored the highest in when it came to that index, was borrowing, was knowing how to lend and knowing how to take out a loan. And so, you know, that's something that really, really kind of shook me the first time I saw that. But also when I look back at the years before, because that was the 2020 report. From years before that, it was the same thing. It was borrowing, borrowing, borrowing. So we need to look at all 8 aspects of the financial index and know exactly how to be financially literate. And that's something that I go every day within our firm and make sure that we're talking about.
Nice. Come on with the gems. So before we start, I do want to know what has your finance? Can you tell me a time about how your financial situation, was it what you thought it would be?
Actually, no. And it's actually a lot better than I thought that I would be. Because I know that when I first started, even in my financial journey, my first financial journey was learning about credit. And that was some time ago, back in my mid-20s. I started learning about credit and credit scores and learning how to actually navigate that space. What do I need to do in order to be able to buy a home? And what do these credit scores mean? How can I look them up? And which ones actually matter? And it turns out that they all actually matter in a different type of a way. So we know that there are the big 3 that are out there, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, that when we talk about credit are ones that people look to, especially if they are looking at sites like Credit Karma or Wallet Hub or Nerd Wallet. But there are other scores that are out there, and one in particular that's very important called your FICO score. And that FICO score is what a lot of different banks and lenders look to when you're actually learning how to get a mortgage. So when it comes to that FICO score, knowing what your FICO score actually is, and then knowing when you're actually ready to purchase your home, that, hey, I need my FICO score to be at a certain level so that way when I'm ready to purchase my home, I can do so. And then I can get a good rate for my mortgage instead of having to pay a lot of fees or go extra or have to have a specific type of a loan in order for me to actually buy that home. And that was my very first instance when it came to financial situations. And then after that, as I moved forward and got into my latter 20s and my 30s even, I started learning about things like actual credit cards and how that credit can actually be doubled as you go throughout life. So there's something that a lot of people are starting to learn, and this is something that we teach too as well, called the rule of 72. And that all is dealing with something called compound interest. Compound interest is showing you how you can actually, how your debt or your investments, either one that you are dealing with, are going to be able to double over time. And I did not know that our debts actually double over time. A lot of our debts are compounded. So when it comes to credit cards, they're compounded anywhere between 12 and up to 40%, which is crazy. Which means that if you're at the medium person, it is going to be having a credit card at a rate of about 24%. So if you use the rule of 72, what you do is take 72, divide it by the interest that you're going to have, and that tells you how much time it's going to take for that debt or for that investment to double. So if your credit card is at 24%, 72 divided by 24 is 3, which means your credit card debt is doubling every 3 years. And that's just the average person. If you're someone with terrible credit and you're somewhere at that 36% or 40% level, and let's just take the 36 because that's easy math, 72 divided by 36 is 2. So that means your credit card debt is doubling every 2 years if you're at that level. So that's a very, very dangerous thing to know that, hey, if I'm not paying off my credit card debt, it's going to double every 2, 3, 4 years. And that can help people to realize, hey, I'm not in the best situation. And that's what it took for me to realize, hey, I'm not in the best situation. I'm here in over $20,000 worth of credit card debt. And what can I do in order to fix it? Because now it's going to be doubling every 3 to 4 years if I don't take care of it. So that's something that I realized I needed to actually look toward and fix, because this is something that is not only going to help me, but it's also going to help my family as I move throughout time. And so, looking at those two situations, those were two really, really big ones as I moved throughout life. And then as I moved further, even in a little bit further in, I started to look into different things like investing. And now I have different types of investments. I looked into things like insurance, and now I have insurance that actually covers me, and not just regular insurance. We're talking about life insurance. And so, of course, when you're dealing with life insurance, you're going to have some things that you're going to look into that are going to be able to benefit you. But there are also different types that are out there, and there's a lot of education that needs to go into it when you're looking into all these different things. When it comes to investments, what type of investments that are out there for you, and knowing the 3 different ways that you're able to grow your money. So, there's so many things that can be taught when you're actually looking into all these different things. But the one thing that you want to focus on is knowing that each section is going to help you as you move throughout all 8 of these financial index sections that are going to help you move forward as you go throughout life. And then even as you go forward and have children and they have children, it'll help them too, because these are things that you're going to have to show them and teach them as well. Or even when it comes to having somebody that is on your side that can teach you those things and be your financial educator, then they'll be able to help you too.
Now that's amazing. Like, that's so many notes.
I know that's a lot to take in, but these are all things that we do need to focus on.
Listen, and that is true. Well, that's why we're here, to make a difference and to help our community and our loved ones. So I have noticed that most people don't have a financial professional And I wanted to ask you, why do you think people don't have a financial professional?
Well, there are a lot of different reasons for that. And there are a lot of things that come to me as a financial professional that people say. Like number one, probably the biggest one for that I hear a lot is that it's going to be very expensive. And there are financial professionals out there that charge a lot of money in order to provide you with education and advice. And that's okay. I'm not knocking anyone for doing that. We all have to make money, right? We all have things that we need to accomplish in life. But there are reasons why, those financial professionals are charging you money. And there are also other financial professionals that will help you, and they'll also help you for free. So, some of those that will help you for free come like people from my firm and people like myself or others that are going to be able to say, hey, these are things that you really want to do. Let's go ahead and give you this education so that way you truly are investing in yourself. And those are things that are really moving mountains for people, because now not only are they going to be able to learn about these different things that they can that properly navigate the financial arena, but now they're actually going to be able to do it and have the proper tools in line that aren't going to break their bank either. And that's something that I hear quite often, is that, they think it's going to be too expensive. Or even they think that financial professionals are not going to use language that they're going to understand. I'm hoping that as we have this conversation that I'm keeping things pretty simple for everybody so that they can then understand me. But we want to make sure that people are understanding what it is that we're going to be able to do for them. And so using, confusing language or using jargon from the actual field can make them feel intimidated. But we do want to make sure that they are feeling comfortable in everything that they're doing. So that's why I want to make sure that financial professionals are taking their time to explain to people why this is important for them, or why they should make a specific move as they go forward in their investing journey or as they go forward in their financial journey. So there are a number of different things, but I think those are probably two of the main ones that really are really huge reasons for people not wanting to move forward with a financial professional.
Nice. And then I think you answered my next question. Why is it important to have a financial professional?
Yeah, for sure. And there are a number of different reasons why it's important. But the main one is knowing and having the financial education in place for you to move forward and do better. Because the goal is not for you to stay in the same place. The goal is for you to move forward and progress into a better financial situation. So for you to move forward and actually have an investment in place that earns you, something over time that you can actually look forward to maybe pulling out a little and taking a trip on. Or if you're looking forward to actually having a retirement in place that is going to benefit you for the rest of your life, so you don't have to go back to work after 60 or 65 or whenever it is that you may look to retire. Because we know that there are plenty of people who want to retire at 50 or even 45, but they want to know how they'll be able to do so. And in some cases, they feel like they can't do it with different types of financial vehicles. But we want to show them how they can do that and not have to worry about breaking the bank or worry about paying so much in different types of taxes, if that's something that they're looking forward to, or learning how to make do with what they have, or even when it comes to actually learning about different types of vehicles that can help them to do better. When it comes to overperforming in their retirement, and when it comes to even maybe they're underperforming as they look at it right now, but where do they want to be and how can we get them there? So these are all things that'll help them when it comes to having a financial professional, when it comes to investing, or when it comes to having the proper retirement vehicles, or when it comes to actually having the right college plan even in place. These are all things that people are looking to have answered for themselves, and they're not going to be able to always just Google it and find it, but it sometimes will take a little bit of effort and have that financial professional who's going to properly educate them the right way.
Education is power. Awesome. Thank you so much, Devin. My next question I have for you, because I'll be honest, I actually don't know what a firm is. So, what is a financial firm?
So a financial firm is a company that's actually going to be able to work with a number of different types of financial investments, financial products, things that are going to be able to help people to move forward in those different arenas in the financial index. So when it comes to working with a financial firm, they do a number of different things. They could have a number of different licenses, and they could have they could be covering and be like that one-stop shop for everything that they're going to be able to undertake. So when it comes to different things like college funding, or when it comes to budgeting, or when it comes to learning how to borrow, or when it comes to actually learning how to eradicate that debt, these are all things that we're going to be able to help someone cover in a financial firm. So, these are all different types of financial services that we're able to provide for people within one firm.
Nice. And then you told me you work at. I know that you're extremely passionate about your own firm. So can you tell our listeners what's the name of your firm, and what are your services that you offer?
Sure. So the name of the firm that myself and other entrepreneurs, because I do want to make sure that that is clear, that we are a team of entrepreneurs that are going out and helping people. But the name of our firm is Core Financial Literacy. And we used to be called Core Financial Group. We wanted to change that because we wanted to make sure that the education aspect of what we do as a firm and as a brokerage is covered. So we're really, really excited to go out and help people within our firm and make sure that when we're helping them, that they're going to be helped in the proper way. So if they're coming to us and looking forward to eradicating that credit card debt that they have, then we can help them with different things and show them different techniques in order to do so. Or if they have debts that are just so large, work with different companies that can help them with different things like debt management programs or debt consolidation, or whatever it is that they may have that can take care of it. Or even when it comes to different things like investing, showing them how different types of ways that they can invest, so that way they'll move forward and know how they can actually move into different types of investments that can even help them to not lose their money, because that's something that a lot of people are very, very worried about. Or even when it comes to different things like owing back taxes, we work with a company that will help them to actually to pay those back taxes, and at a much, much lower rate. And these are all things that we educate and help people with on a daily basis for free. We work with a lot of different companies that will help them to do so. So we're not looking for competition, because there's no competition. We are looking to help them with the right companies and the right solutions that are going to help them to get to that better place that they want to be. So I'm excited about our firm and where we're going, the things that we have accomplished in the last year, because our firm is only 1 year old as of this month, and we're very, very excited about all the things that we are doing. But we are looking to actually help people in all of those different aspects of the financial realm, and even more than that, because there are over 70 different types of financial services that we're able to provide for people. So I'm really, really proud of the things that my team and I are really, really accomplishing with so many people here in not just Nashville, but across the country.
Nice. I need to come down to your firm.
Well, come on down. We got a lot. We got a lot of things that that we can offer. So, if you're looking forward to looking a little bit more into core financial literacy, I mean, look us up on Facebook. We do have our Facebook page. We're streaming live right now from our personal pages, but core financial literacy page is here on Facebook, as well as Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So, please, feel free to look us up. We want to make sure that we're helping so many people across the country.
Awesome. And does Core, I noticed you said the name of the financial firm is Core Financial Literacy. Where does name core came from? And
Well,
does it mean anything?
yeah, sure. The name CORE has a dual meaning. Number one, it is an acronym. So CORE stands for Changing Others' Realities Every Day. And that's something that we want to be able to pursue as we help people every day in their financial life. So, but that other meaning, when you talk about a core, you're talking about the nucleus, you're talking about the actual center of something that is going to be able to make up the actual thing or the actual entity of something. So when you're talking about the nucleus, you're talking about the actual DNA, the actual substance of that product. So, it has a dual meaning. We want to have substance, we want to bring value, we want to bring the actual core of financial education to everybody as we come forward. As we come forward and help everybody every day and change their realities.
Wow. So if so now my next question, now that we know a little bit of who you are and what the name of the firm is, if someone comes up to you and they already have went to different firms, what makes your firm different than the rest?
That's a really good question, actually. When it comes to our firm, and I don't know if there are other firms that are like this, so I don't want to down anybody if there are any other firms that are like that. But we have over 200 companies that we're actually working with in order to provide services for people. So when it comes to, different things like the investments or retirements or advisory services, or when it comes to even the basics like auto and home and life insurance, or even when it comes to credit and debt and taxes, or when it comes to building estate planning projects or estate planning period, and creating living wills and trust, and having people like notaries that are able to help us, or learning about power of attorney, or even assisting people with attorney advice. That these are all things that our firm is able to do. And so, we have all licensed professionals who are going to be able to help them with every single aspect of those parts of our firm. So when you're talking about having over 200 different companies at your hand to do over 70 different types of things, that's a very, very multifaceted company, or a very multifaceted firm that's going to be able to help you to do everything that you need to do.
Nice. I love it. I love it. All right. So forgive me, but this is one of my favorite questions. Um, Someone who's new to the financial world. Um, I literally came in as a baby, and it is amazing. It is amazing how all this terminology, and I was like, "What's this? What's that?" So um, you had told me about diverse portfolio, but what exactly is a diverse portfolio, and how um, and what's the process to start one?
Okay. So when it comes to having a diverse portfolio, this is going to be something that spreads your money out. One thing that we see a lot of people do that maybe they do a little bit too often is they just rely on one type of account, or they rely on one type of investment to take them throughout the rest of their life. And that's something that we probably shouldn't do, because if you think about your life, you have a plan A, plan B, plan C in life if you have things that don't happen. So shouldn't we have a plan A, plan B, plan C for our money too? I mean, that just makes sense. So, that's what having a diverse portfolio does. It allows you to actually put your money in different types of areas, so that way you're able to actually grow your money the right way. And then on top of that, knowing the 3 different ways to grow your money is going to be something that helps people just immensely, because knowing the difference between a fixed type of investment, a variable type of investment, and an index type of investment are going to really help to actually diversify that in the proper ways. And we see too many times that, yeah, people might be diversified in their portfolio, or they may have that plan A, plan B, plan C, but they're only in one specific type of investment. Maybe they have 3 Roth IRAs, or they have 3 different types of retirement accounts. But are they really in the fixed, variable, and index types of investments, or are they in the fixed, variable, and index buckets, as I like to say? So that way you're not just relying on one bucket to take you throughout life and hold your water. You're relying on all 3 buckets, so you have a little water in each one, and then that way you can distribute it the proper way. So diversifying your portfolio makes sure that you're actually able to spread your money out and grow it properly.
Nice. All right. So, so I got a question from somebody. I have to ask this question. What is residual income? Because I've heard about it, my peers heard about it, but what exactly is residual income? And how do someone obtain residual income?
That's a really good question. So residual income is going to be any income that you don't have to put forth a physical effort for. And hey, a lot of people have the dream of having that income to come in even as they're sleeping, right? So that's what I always talk about when I say residual income is, having that money to come in when you're not putting forth the physical effort, when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation, when you are out doing things at your leisure that you want to do that are going to be able to help you to have, different freedoms. We know that there are different freedoms that are allowed when you have that type of income coming in. And so you can do the things that you would like to do. And a lot of business owners take advantage of that residual income, but a lot of investors can take advantage of it too. So they could be making money and have the time to have, their own little time freedom, to not have to worry about do certain things, or they can have a personal freedom and do the things that they feel like they want to do, or even that financial freedom to say, hey, I have something that I can pull out of that's going to continue making me that residual income, or even that emotional income. Because when we have that fourth way of really having to break away from the mental health stigma of a financial anxiety or a financial issue, then we're going to have that emotional freedom as well. So, these are all things that can result from having that residual income. And that's something that a lot of people want to look forward to, but they don't know how they can get it. But it just depends on whether they want to take the time to do the proper investing, or should they want to move forward and move forward into actually taking the step and actually becoming a business owner and getting that residual income on either side. So those are 2 ways for sure that you can have residual income. Of course, there are many more, but definitely those are the 2 major ways that you can do so.
Nice, I love it. You had me at freedom, financial freedom, personal time freedom, even a new one, emotional freedom. Ooh, I felt that. Sign me up. I'll take residual income any day. So now for my final question, because we are talking about financial anxiety and we are in a pandemic, I have to bring this up. What exactly is life insurance and why is it so important?
Ooh, well, I think this is a good question now too, especially in the pandemic for sure. So with life insurance, this is something that helps you to actually ensure the proper benefits for your life. Now, there are different types of life insurance that are out there. And when it comes to that, you have things like term insurance, but then you also have permanent insurance. And that permanent insurance can be extended into a number of different types of insurance. But let's just start with term for now. With term, this is something that is temporary for people. So basically what happens with your life insurance, this is something that you are going to give to your family because you wanted to make sure that they're going to be comfortable after you are gone. So this is something that creates a legacy for you and then it's given to your family. So with the term insurance, you pass away, the family gets money. And that's all that happens. It doesn't really do anything for you right now. But we do have permanent insurance, and there are different types of permanent insurance. There's whole life, which a lot of people are familiar with. There's universal life. There's also what they call an IUL, which is index universal life. But there are so many different types of life insurance that are out there. Equity index life. There are so many different types of life insurance. But the one thing that I love to make sure that people understand is that when they have a permanent life insurance, that creates them what they call cash value. And so when you have that cash value, you could be building up like a little bank inside of your life insurance policy. And what that does for you, you can build it up and be able to take that money out. Now, with different things like a equity index or an index universal life, that cash value actually becomes yours. With things like a whole life, that has to be taken out as a loan, so it has to be paid back. But you don't have to do that with those index universal life policies or anything like that. That cash value can actually be yours. So when you're pulling that money out, you do have the opportunity to pay it back if you like to, but if not, you don't have to. That money is strictly yours in your cash value. So there's different things that benefit you when it comes to life insurance. But also the other thing about that, when it comes to different types of life insurance, is also knowing that you can have living benefits. And those living benefits will help you to have a benefit now while you're living, instead of just passing away and your family getting money. So a living benefit could do something for you to where if you get a terminal illness, that you could be getting that death benefit that you have, and let's say it's $1 million. You could possibly get that $1 million up front to go ahead and take care of funeral arrangements, or to go ahead and take care of any outstanding debts, or to continue making sure that your quality of life is going to be sustained. So you'll be able to use that money however you please. So, that's something that a lot of people are unaware of, but those permanent policies can give you living benefits that will help you as you go throughout life. Or even things like what we call long-term care benefits. So if they end up being in a nursing home, then they could be taking care of that nursing home through the long-term care rider that they have on their life insurance, and being able to pay for that tax-free even. So, there are so many different types of benefits that are out there, but most of them come with a permanent life insurance. And that's something that, we want to make sure people are aware of and are educated about also.
Nice. Life insurance. One thing I have noticed since this pandemic, that it is definitely a necessity to have some type of insurance, because I was talking to you, and we always talk about we insure our phones, we insure our technology, we insure our house, we insure our cars, but do we insure ourselves though? What happens if anything else happens to us? So having life insurance is extremely important. It's all about getting the one that fits your financial needs and your financial situation. So that's definitely my number one priority. But other than that, that is all of my questions. We're gonna open up the floor for anyone who may have questions. Let us look.
And let's see if we do have any questions. I'm going to pull the page back up here. We've been live for quite some time now, so I want to make sure that people are if they have any questions, that they are able to share those with us. Let's see. But I do see that there are quite a few people who have tuned in, so we want to say thank you for the people who have tuned in, that have liked the live so far. I see a couple of one of my cousins, Daryl, that is out there. Hi, Daryl. It's good to see you. She says, "Oh wow, that's some great information." So Thank you, Denise, for tuning in. My brother, and he's also a part of our firm as well. And both of these people are Yassine and Stephanie. So thank you for tuning into the live. Also, your spiritual mother is here, Xavian, Pastor Hollis.
Hello.
So thank you, Pastor Hollis, for tuning in. So we've got quite a few comments here. I don't see any other questions that have tuned in, but if anybody does have any questions, feel free to throw them on here. Also, it looks like Daryl just added in a couple of other people as well that are tagged, Tawana Gordon and Aisha. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If there are not any questions, I'm just going to make sure that we don't have any others. See. Oh, I also see one of my fraternity brothers is here, Mr. Brenton Holmes. Thank you, sir. I'm glad to see you. 19. Also, let's see. I do not see any other questions or anything like that. So with that said, I guess that, I do want to throw in one other thing, because there was something that you brought up too that we talked about once before, and that was something called income protection that a lot of people are not aware of. And so, you talked about ensuring, things like your phone and your technology, like your TV and things of that nature. But one thing that we do talk about when it comes to different things that are out there is income protection. And so income protection is something that helps people to supplement their income. And that's something that they can do to make sure that if something does happen to them, that they can have a check to come in, even though they may not be working or something else happens, that they can continue to actually supplement their income and have a check coming in for $3,000 or $4,000 a month, or however much, until they get better. We do have a question there. Denise just asked us how we can access Core Financial Literacy on social media. You can access us on Facebook right here. You can just search Core Financial Literacy, or you can actually find us on different platforms as well, like Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can go ahead and search for Core Financial Literacy, and we'll be able to find our company on all those different platforms. So let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody else when it comes to our questions here. And I think that we are clear of all the questions. So I think we are all good. I know we went a little bit over than the time that we wanted to spend, but I think this was something that was very, very important for us to cover today. So I'm glad that we've got a lot of different people that are tuning in and liking the posts, and feel free to look us up again on social media, Core Financial Literacy, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and on Instagram. We're on all 4 of those platforms. And any questions that you do have, feel free to reach out to myself or anybody on my team will be able to help you. We want to make sure that we're bringing things of value for everyone. So I guess, Xavian, this is going to clear us of our live. We've been glad to spend the last 50 minutes with you guys. But thank you all for tuning in. This was a very, very exciting task for myself as well as Xavian, and we're very excited that you guys were able to tune in. So if nothing else, Xavian, go ahead and close us out.
All right. Well, due to technical difficulties, that's all right. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing seminar. I personally want to thank Devin for being amazing human being and being a team player and being an amazing business partner, because I have learned so much from him. And when I told him that we was gonna go live, he didn't ask any questions. He just jumped on board. So if you have any questions about mental health or about finances, you can put my info. I'm gonna put my information below, and I'm gonna put Devin's information below as well. But there will be more of these. This is the first one, and feel free to share because it's gonna be a lot more. But I hope you all have an awesome Financial Freedom Friday, and be blessed, and please stay safe. All right, see you guys later.